I'm Luca Giliberti, contributing writer at Gold Derby, joined today by Tadeusz Lysiak, the writer-director of the live-action short film The Dress, which has been shortlisted for this year's Academy Awards. First off, congratulations are in order. I know that you had a very successful festival run with this film, but what does this acknowledgement, this inclusion from the Motion Picture Academy mean to you?
Oh, first, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. But you know, this thing that we have been shortlisted by Academy Awards, by Academy. We are just, this is surreal for all of us, really. We are just thrilled, and we were stunned by the information. Like we called each other, we were shouting to our mobiles, and you know, crying. It was just, I don't know. I think I never felt that way as after the shortlist announcement. It was great, and I recommend the feeling to everyone.
It's amazing, and it's absolutely deserved. And we'll get into into the film in just a second. But I read that this film was born out of its central themes, which include loneliness, rejection, and much more. And that the story about this woman of short stature named Julia, of course, sort of arose out of those themes. Could you talk about your process of developing this story and eventually putting it on the page?
Well, yeah, like the main reason I did this movie was because of my studies at Warsaw Film School, as you can see behind me. So at the end of each year, the students must make a short movie about 15 to 30 minutes long. So I was searching for the idea to make such a movie, and I thought that I would like to say something that really interests me in the world, and to cover some topics that are interesting to me. So I thought of how people often tend to reject others because of their physical appearance. This is especially important in Poland. We have some problems in Poland with that. So I wanted to make a universal story about universal emotions, as you said, about love, loneliness, rejection, desire. And then I searched the web, and I found an article that was all about people of short stature and how they live in Poland, and what are the challenges that they have to deal with on a daily basis. And it was really eye-opening for me. And immediately I felt that this is the story that I want to tell. And the second reason behind why I started thinking about this project was Anna Dzieduszycka, the main actress herself, because I knew her from my other projects in Warsaw Film School, and I just knew that she's such an amazing person, such a powerful woman, and she's short-statured, and I immediately knew that she's the one. So there are like two reasons for this movie, and one of them is my diploma in Warsaw Film School, and one of them is Anna Dzieduszycka herself. Just she's an amazing actress, and really great one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get into her performance and her character in just a bit. But purportedly, the script for this ended up being around 31 pages long and featuring, I think, around 52 scenes, which is why it was very close to actually becoming a full feature movie. Yes. But what about the short film format ultimately compelled you to keep your film as a short film?
Well, we have some boundaries in Warsaw Film School. We have to make a movie that is from 15 minutes to 30 minutes long. But also, I think the short format is really a good format to tell compelling stories, to tell something important in a short period of time. And they're really good as a discussion, as a start of a discussion. I watch a lot of short movies. I love to go to film festivals, short film festivals, and watch like a ton of them. And I'm always stunned by how great those stories can be, how great they can evoke some questions, or like to force you to think about some subjects. And I really love that about short movies. Like, but of course, like my script was 31 pages long, as you said, and 52 scenes. So it was mental to do it all in such a short period of time. We had like 6 days of shooting probably. So yeah, we worked really hard on that. But I'm lucky enough that I managed to gather amazing crew of really young, talented filmmakers from Warsaw, Poland, and not only Warsaw. And you have to remember that this is a student project, so we didn't have great funds for it. Like, of course, we had funding from Warsaw Film School and Polish Film Institute. So yeah, we had some funding to do this project, but actually we all made it just for our passion, and we all had some kind of mission in our heads that we have to tell this story, and that this is an important and meaningful story that we want to share with others, with the world. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And you actually mentioned that Anna, that she sort of inspired you, that she was part of the reason you sort of wrote this story, and that her casting was practically a no-brainer. But what are some of the qualities, some of the abilities, and maybe even some of the features that you were specifically looking for when casting this part?
Well, you know, when I wrote the script, I looked at it and I was thinking that this is the movie that you can easily fall into some kind of traps while telling the story. We didn't want to focus too much on Julia's height, for example, because we wanted this movie to be very universal and about some universal big emotions, little big emotions like love and loneliness, as we said before. So we wanted the camera to be really close to the main character and to look her into the eyes and never judge her, as society tends to judge people of short stature and other physical characteristics. So this was really important to make this character strong, not weak, not sad, not like depressed in some sense. So there were some things that I really wanted this character to be like I wanted her to listen to death metal, to be really straightforward and direct, and to be just powerful in the inside. So when I met Anna to talk about the script, I saw that she's the perfect Julia for the role. She's so powerful, so energetic, so direct. So she has a great sense of humor, and I knew that she's like perfect for it because of that characteristic. So yeah, like I'm really proud that as a director, that I discovered her. I think this is my greatest accomplishment. Like I don't care about, well, I care, but I don't care that much about being shortlisted or the festival nominations and awards. Like I'm mostly proud of Anna and how I managed to discover her and show her acting skills to the world, because I think she's just a great actress, one of the greatest, probably.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love that perspective. I haven't heard that before. So thank you again for sharing. And with short films, which typically give viewers only a glimpse into someone's life, I'm always curious about how much thought is putting into crafting a backstory for at least some of the main characters. Is this something that you did, especially for Julia, before actually writing the script? Or did a backstory, or is it something that arose in conversations with your actors?
I think like 10% of it was my ideas and the script, and I think 90% of it was thanks to Anna and my conversations with her, and also my talks with Dorota Pomykała and Szymon Warszawski, who played other main roles in the movie. So we wanted to create authentic characters that are grounded in reality and have a lot of depth in them. So we talked a lot how to do it. Like for example, Renata, main character's biggest friend. Like I wanted this woman to be a little bit in the middle of being in the town that they live in and between trying to escape. So I talked with Dorota how to show this in this character, and so Dorota said to me that listen, it's gonna be perfect if Renata is gonna if Renata would read a lot of Polish German dictionaries, you know, because like why she does that, you may ask, right? Because like this is not like some kind of greatest literature to read.
Yeah.
But it shows that Renata is like maybe thinking of escaping Poland and going to Germany, you know, like because Germany and Poland is often presented as like this ideal country to go to. It's close to us, and it's in some ways it's a little bit better than here. But you know, so yeah, there were like a lot of like small things like that in every character, in Bogdan, in Julia, and in Renata, that we talked about and how to show it in the movie. For example, Julia's taste of music, death metal. It's really it shows the emotions in her head, like the buzzing of emotions, right? The death metal is a really strong and powerful music. So as my character is, so and Julia's character is, so yeah.
Well, and you know, that's a perfect segue into the next question, because you talked a little bit about how you wanted to frame Julia and her journey, but one scene in particular that I wanted to ask you about is the one in which there's a conversation between Julia and Renata, where Julia, I think more so than at any other part in the film, pours out her pain and her grief.
Yeah.
But what I loved most about that scene was that the camera actually stayed on Renata's face for quite a great portion of it. So what went into the decision to film the scene that way?
Oh, thank you for saying this, because this is like one of my favorite things about that scene. The scene is really, I think this is a really powerful scene. But I'm really glad that you find this little detail about this scene, because I talked a lot with Konrad Bloch, my cinematographer, about that scene, and I remember trying to convince him that we should stay on Renata's face for as long as we can, because I think this, like Renata served as some kind of mirror to Julia's emotions and some kind of mirror to viewers' emotions. So it served both ways, right? Like when you see Renata's face, when Julia is talking about her emotions and what is painful in her life, when you see how Renata reacts to that, you also like you feel yourself in that scene. And it was really important to me to shoot this scene like that and to edit the scene like that, to stay on Renata's face and to show how he's trying to understand Julia and how she's trying to comfort her, but she is not able to do so in a perfect way. Like she's trying, but sometimes you know you don't know what to say to people that are sad and rejected and in that kind of a bad mood. So yeah, so this was really important to edit this scene like that, and I'm really happy that you saw that.
Of course, it was. I think it was one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Just for the simple reason how it was framed and how it was filmed. I just thought it was something different, and I think it really demanded your attention. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. And before we talk, yeah, of course. Before we talk about the ending of the film, I do briefly want to touch on the film's authentic, very naturalistic look, which I know was fully your intention. Could you talk me through some of the techniques you and your cinematographer, Konrad Bloch, used to create this look?
Oh yeah, it was really important for us to make this movie look like a little bit like a documentary, even. Right, and so we talked a lot about it, and we decided to use handheld. So Konrad was actually holding the camera all the time to mimic a little bit a documentary, to make you feel like you're watching something real and not something that was invented and created from foundation. So we do that. We didn't use a lot of artificial lighting. We used a lot of natural lighting from the sun and daylight, and we used a lot of long lenses to be like to make camera like an observer of some sort, and to make you feel like you're like observing the scenes and the action from a distance point of view. And also we wanted the camera to be really close to the protagonist's face. One part of that is to make it feel like personal and to delve into Julia's emotions. And other part of it is that we wanted the viewer to forget about Julia's height. And we didn't want to focus on that. We didn't want to use like wide shots that would exaggerate like that she's physically different. She's shorter than the rest of her society, her surrounding, right? We wanted this to be emotional, personal, and really close to Julia's, not only Julia's face and eyes, but also really close to Julia's heart, because this is a movie about love and desire and about lack of love of some sort, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fascinating. And as promised, I do briefly want to talk about the ending, which, as you yourself have actually talked about, left some people strangely disappointed because it doesn't give them the happy ending that they had hoped for. But bearing in mind what the ending actually is, what do you as a storyteller hope people take away from it?
Well, you know, I had two options to end this movie, right? Like I had an option to make this, to end this with a classic happy end, or something comforting. And I really thought about it. This is not like a thing that I never thought about it. I deeply thought about it, and I had a long conversations with my artistic supervisor from Warsaw Film School about the ending, to end it in a good way or in a bad way. But I decided to end it in a bad way, because I think if I would end it with a happy end, classic happy end, I think I would give too much comfort to the viewer, and you would leave the cinema and thinking like, okay, Julia had some troubles in her life, some bad times, some bad things happened to her, but in the end, like, it's okay, right? Like, it ended great. We can forget about the movie and go drink coffee and talk about other stuff. But I really wanted this movie to be a sort of a discussion about the subject, because I think this is a really important topic to discuss. And I decided to end this movie like that on purpose. So I know that there are a lot of people that are angry with me about that ending, but I feel like I did a good job with that, because there's just a lot of people that come to me after the screening is over, and they thank me for it, often with tears in their eyes. And I know that there is a lot of discussion about this movie, especially in Poland right now, but not only. And people are talking about it, and people are talking about how people of short stature, and not only, are disrespected often in society, and maybe even in cinema, you know, because like I read a report that that only 2% of speaking characters in cinema are depicted with disabilities at all, not only short stature, but disabilities. So I thought that this struck me, like, why is that? Like, of course, there's some, like, we are making a lot of improvements in terms of inclusion in cinema and diversity. But people of short stature, for example, are still being presented in cinema, in movies, like some kind of comedic relief characters, some kind of surreal characters, but no one is like focusing on them, and not only focusing, but like having them play whatever role is like good. Like Peter Dinklage is actually making a great job on it, and we all really love it. Actually, he was the reason Anna decided to start acting at the first place. So she's like really looking at him, and yeah. So I think he's doing a great job on that, and he's changing the film industry a little bit. Yeah. So that is that.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the reason, personally speaking, I think the ending is perfect. Life isn't full of sunshine and roses, and I don't think sugarcoating the truth is productive in any way. In fact, I think sugarcoating the truth can sometimes send the wrong message, as you've talked about. And,
yeah, that's it. That is what I want. That's what I wanted to make, right? Like the ending that evokes questions, like provokes the questions. Exactly. And not leaves you with some kind of comfort. Like maybe there will be some time, and I really hope that it's gonna happen. That we could make movies like that ends happily and good. And I'm really crossing my fingers that this time will come.
I hope so too. And on a final note, that's actually, again, a perfect segue. You are working on your full feature film debut, which I believe is a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Is there anything special that you learned about the process of filmmaking while making the dress that you will apply to this project?
Oh, I think I learned a lot. A part of it, like a big part of it, is what Warsaw Film School taught me about making movies. And like in the school, they have like just great tutors and great teachers that help you with your career, not only during the studies but also after that. So this is perfect. Like I'm sitting now. You see, I'm in Warsaw Film School actually now because they all helped me with the dress and what happened to the dress after it was made. So this is great. And I think that when I was making the dress, I really learned that when you make a serious movie about some serious topics, you have to write a lot of scenes that are lighter, that are happier, that are even maybe making you laugh a little. And that's what I made with the dress. There are a lot of scenes in the dress that are just similar to comedy even.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can laugh a lot with this movie. And I'm applying the same things to my full feature debut, this psychological thriller. It's not gonna be just sad and frightening. It's gonna be a little bit funny as well. So this is like one of the things that I learned. I could talk for hours about it, but I think like I learned a lot because of Warsaw Film School and how they teach people a filmmaking career.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's comedy and drama, and there's drama and comedy. So I think,
Yeah.
Everyone who's out there watching, make sure to check out the dress when you can. I believe it's currently available on YouTube, though only for a limited amount of time. So check it out as soon as possible. And please subscribe to Gold Derby and keep up to date with us throughout the season. Tadeusz, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.